Not spillover.
That's fantastic.
So it's like a shootout, and I walk through the alley, but luckily I dodged the bullets. That's not really spillover crime.
Yeah, because it's trafficker on trafficker.
Oh, okay.
If a drug cartel member beheads 5 rival drug cartel members in the middle of Dallas, DHS will not consider that to be spillover violence. That has nothing to do with the border. Really? That is the kind of stuff that only makes sense in Washington, D.C. How about if the amount of blood would spill over the rim of an empty Olympic-size swimming pool? Would we start counting it then? Because we're there. Call me crazy. Napolitano has also manipulated statistics to say that the overall violent crime is down across the southwest border by 30%. That is only true if you look at big border city crime statistics. Places like San Diego are one of the safest places along the border, thanks to Duncan Hunter. Why? He had the wall built years ago. Napolitano and the Department of Homeland Security are cowards because they hide behind the misleading numbers instead of acknowledging how dire the situation on the border really is. A 6-year-old boy in Cowards. Read this chapter. Go, I don't care if you buy the book. Go to the bookstore and just stand there and say, they say, you going to buy that book? Yeah, I'm going to probably buy that book. I'm just reading this chapter. Read the chapter, then put the book back on the shelf.
Or you could buy it. I mean, you don't have to put it back. It's not necessarily the way we would advise to.
Are you guys getting percentages off of that? Are you getting a couple
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just saying that the information is important.
In fact, now I insist that you just go read this and just put it back on the shelf.
I wouldn't do that.
A 6-year-old boy
Seems
kidnapped.
unethical somehow.
A 6-year-old boy kidnapped. I'm still in the text. Kidnapped in his Las Vegas home at gunpoint because his grandfather owned a cartel more than $1 million. That's not spillover violence. 5 men tortured and killed. They had their throats slit in northern Alabama by men working for a Gulf cartel. Not spillover violence. Hidalgo County Sheriff's deputy in Texas shot 3 times while responding to a cartel-related kidnapping call. We could go on and on and on, and we do in that one chapter in Cowards. What needs to happen is anytime individuals associated with Mexican cartels engage in violent criminal activity against anyone on U.S. soil, it needs to be documented so Americans know the truth. The truth. That's what Cowards is about. That's what we need to be about. That's what Washington needs to be about. That's what our media needs to be about. The truth. By the way, thank you for making this the #1 bestseller in America 3 weeks in a row. Now, something else we can do about the border situation that fits into what we've been saying lately. Control the language and win the debate. When we talk about illegal immigration, we can all be for legal immigration. We don't have to be against something. We don't have to be against anything or anyone, because we're not. We're for the rule of law. We are for legal immigration. It's pretty hard to call you anti-immigrant if you're talking about how we should have immigration, and it should be legal, and it should be easier. I don't know anybody who doesn't want good, decent, America-appreciating people who can infuse us with work ethic, with new ideas. There's this great book out called Imagine. Don't buy it. Read my book on the shelf, and then buy it for Stu and Pat and their kids' college education.
Thank you.
And leave the other one. But there's this great book out. I was just reading it last night called Imagine. And it talks about how the brain is creative. And I've learned so much about myself and the people around me who are very, very creative. And at one point, they talk about how if you go to a foreign country and you live in a foreign country for a while, you are more likely to be very creative and be able to think out of the box because you just don't see things the same way. You accept them. If you are living in your same hometown and everything else, you just accept that this is the way things are. Barbie, the Barbie doll, was actually a gift from a woman to a little girl, her daughter, because she was playing with paper dolls and she was calling them mom. And she was like, no, that's a baby. That's a child. And she's like, yeah, I know. But she wanted to play with adult dolls. She went over to Germany and she went over to Germany and she saw this buxom little, like what turned into later be the Barbie doll. Well, she bought it at a bar. She didn't know, because she didn't speak the language and she didn't know the culture, that was a man's kind of like sex toy. It was like a naughty toy over in Germany at the time. She gave it to her daughter because she didn't know. Her daughter loved it. She convinced Mattel to make something like it. That's how Barbie was born. You think out of the box. We have to think out of the box. And the people who can help us do it are new immigrants. They can help us think out of the box. Einstein was an immigrant. It's good. It's all good. It's good for them. It's good for us. And that's how we should frame this topic from here on out. Yes, we want the border secure. What nation on earth wouldn't want their border secure? Mexico certainly secures their border. Why shouldn't we? Is our border less important to us than their border is to them? No. They're not under attack. We are. What are we thinking? We should expect employers in this country and those who want to come here from elsewhere to respect our laws, our traditions, and our culture. That's certainly expected. If you go to Germany, you go to Mexico, you go anyplace else, that's expected of you. And yes, we want immigrants to legally immigrate. That's our stance. We're not against illegals. We are for legal immigration. They make us better. That's the winning target. Stop letting them paint you in a corner. They're a joke. They're over. The left has been exposed. The progressive movement has been exposed. All you have to do is finish playing the game. Just finish. We're at halftime. We've already won. Get back on the field and finish the game.